Hey everybody, what's up? On this video, you'll find out my updated 2018 custom audiences and lookalike audiences so you can create a pretty badass Facebook campaign. Hey guys, what's up? Hernan Vazquez here. Welcome to another video and thank you once again for watching this video. Now, back in the day, I think it was like, I don't know, maybe a year ago, which in Facebook terms, Facebook is like, that it said that a dog every year, a human year is like 7 years of a dog life. And well, in Facebook, it's like 1,000 years, okay? So I made a video a year ago or something like that, but now it's been like, it seems like it's been 1,000 years since I made that video because everything changed so fast. So in this video, I wanted to give you guys kind of an update overview of my custom audiences plus lookalike audiences strategy so that you can get a lot of good results with your Facebook ads. Now with that said, Facebook changes really quickly. Over the past week or so, it's changed, I don't know, 10 times. So, it's mutating and it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty exciting. So if you want to stay at the top of your game, there's two main things that I would recommend. Number one is to subscribe to this YouTube channel. I try to put out as much content as possible so that you can stay on top of your game and you can stay ahead of the competition. You can stay, right there when the changes occur. And number two, that you come and join the free Facebook group. Over there is there where like the living and breathing Facebook group happens and the discussion happens so that you can come and join and we have a lot of fun as well. So with that said, let's go over a really powerful custom audiences and lookalike audiences. I told you guys that I recorded a couple of videos back in the day. One of them was how to actually turn, a couple hundred subscribers into a couple million people that you can target on Facebook. So that was number one. Number two is also how to use layering, lookalike audiences with interest. And there's also going to be links and everything on screen. So if you want to check them out, they're still really relevant. But I want to share with you a strategy that I recorded for my top of the line super secret squirrel group where I share, the top to bottom of my funnels. And I want to share with you guys this strategy that I recorded for them that will show you exactly what type of lookalikes create and custom audiences to create depending on your funnel and how to get the most juice out of them. So let's hop into the computer real quick when I want to share with you guys how to create that really badass custom audiences. So let's hop into the computer real quick when I want to share with you how to create those really badass custom audiences and lookalike audiences for your business. Here's what I have for you guys today, which is basically a graphic showing you the different kind of audiences that I put together. And there's gonna be a link somewhere around here so that you can download it to actually, download it to your PC and to wherever you want to download it. And the reality is that there's these several type of custom audiences that you can create on Facebook, and there are several levels and degrees of intent. By intent, I mean basically people that are interested on your product, on your services, and they really want to go ahead and buy it, right? So you have the least amount of intent, and then you have the highest amount of intent, which is people that have already purchased from you, all right? And between these two extremes, you have all of these different custom audiences that you can create. And then based on a custom audience, you can actually create a lookalike audience. So it's kind of doing a kind of a Facebook funnel based on these audiences, all right? So I hope that makes sense. So anyways, let's jump into this real quick. I want to share with you guys how this works. So, and again, there's gonna be a link somewhere around here so that you can download this graphic right here. So we have, what's going on? So let me show you guys, this is my cat. It's my cat, so yeah, she's asking for some love. So anyways, here we have custom audiences, right? So we have an intent degree or an intent scale, if you would, that goes from lower to higher, all right? So the lower the intent is, the colder the audience is. So the lower the intent are people that haven't heard about us, they do not know who we are, they haven't heard about our stuff, and they had like one potential interaction with our brand, meaning they had one touching point with our brand, all right? And Facebook is really good when it comes to actually creating these intent-based audiences when it comes to, people that have interacted with us, all right? So by, having some video views campaign or having some view content campaign and sharing our content on Facebook, we can actually populate these audiences, all right? But again, these are like the colder audiences out there. So let me show you guys which one these are. So we have video viewers, all right? So again, I'm a big adamant, a big proponent of video viewers when it comes to actually growing a big audience fast. So video viewers, anywhere between 10 seconds and 25%. You can even go with 3-second video views, which is an option that you have on Facebook. So I would say between 3 seconds or 10 seconds and 25%, depending on how big your video or how long your videos are rather. That's going to be one of the biggest audiences that you can create, all right? And let me tell you guys that these audiences depend heavily on your funnel. Not only they depend heavily on your funnel, but they also depend on what kind of interactions you have at your funnel, all right? And by any means, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just the list that I'm using. There's a lot of different audiences that you can create in between, all right? I was talking to a guy earlier today that he would do, I don't know, if people clicked on a link or if people, scrolled 50% of the content, blah, 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 they would put them into another audience so that he can create a lookalike audience. So here we have the first thing, we have video viewers, which again, it's a great way to go out there and create a big audience fast. The next thing is view content, once or bounce, meaning people that just land on the page and bounce, or people that just view content once. And I usually use view content campaigns when I'm pushing out blog posts, all right? So when I'm pushing out blog posts, pieces of content that are really good, are really valuable, I use view content campaigns, which are basically another fancy way of saying landing page views or click campaigns, traffic campaigns, blah, 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 right? And then we have in the engagement side of things, and don't worry because I'm gonna walk you guys through all of this, we have the profile visitors, which are people that visit either our Facebook page or they have visited our IG profile, right? They not necessarily have to be engagers, but visitors, all right? If you think about it, engagers have a little bit more intent. Anything that has engaged has either clicked or commented or shared or liked our stuff, whether it is on IG, on Instagram or Facebook. So engagers are a little bit warmer, if you would, that's just a visitor, all right? So now I have video viewers from 50% to 95%. I have, for example, on my Facebook page, I have these long videos, long meaning, they could be, I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes long. And they're really long in internet terms, right? But the point is that video viewers can be anywhere between 50% to 95%, meaning that if somebody lands on a 50% custom audience, that means that they at least watched 5 minutes of a video, which is a long time, all right, in Facebook terms or in internet terms, etc., etc. So video viewers, 50% to 95%, that's the next step. View content also, people that watched or that landed on a blog post or a blog several times, like 3 or 4 times, those are higher intent audiences. And then engagers, okay, people that commented, clicked, they like their share stuff, so those would be considered engagers. So moving on the next step of the intent, we have leads, people that have opted in for our stuff. These are not people that just have, visit or consumer content or free content, ungated content, the way I like to call it. But these are people that are actually leaving us their email, or they have, leave us their email, their phone number, whatever that is. You have leads right there, okay? And I think that leads are are a great custom audience to create. And you can both create leads based on page visits, meaning, if you have a lead magnet or something out there that you're giving away, even for e-commerce, if you're giving away something for free, then the thank you page would be the trigger for this audience. I'm gonna show you guys how to do this, don't worry. Or you can upload your list, all right? You can upload your list to, upload your list to Facebook, and you will be able to create these leads, okay? Leads lists, sorry, I have a bit of a cold right now. So basically this is what you're doing, all right? So leads are a great way to create custom audiences of people that have taken a step further. Then you have webinar attendees. If you're running a webinar funnel, you have the leads, but you also have the webinar attendees, which are two completely different audiences, all right? Usually the leads are gonna be higher than the webinar attendees just because of the fact that not a lot of people that sign up for a webinar will end up attending. So I like to make an additional audience. And again, you can create webinar attendees audience based on lists, like your email list. You can upload that and you can import that into Facebook, or you can have a trigger based on a page, like on a webinar live page or whatever, right? And this also applies for evergreen webinars, all right? So have that in mind. Then moving on, we have added to cart or sales page visitors. This depends on your funnel. So if you're running an e-commerce store, you wanna use add to cart. So instead of leads, you wanna do something like, I don't know, product visitors or whatever, and then you have people that add it to cart. That's another step. And then you have sales page visitors, which are, you know, depending on your funnel, you can go from a webinar to a sales page, and then those will be another step, right? So again, this depends strictly on your funnel, but those are, I think that these two are kind of on the same spectrum, if you will. Then we have order form visitors. Order form visitors are people that are actively willing to put in their details, all right? So they are they have added to cart, but they have visited the order form, and sometimes in the middle or a little bit warmer, you can put initiate checkout, or you can put something like added payment details, blah, 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 and Facebook will allow you to do that if you're running e-commerce. If you're not running e-commerce, order form visitors, I think, are a step ahead than the sales page visitors, because they need to click on your call to action button. And then we have purchasers, all right? Purchasers is the second most powerful, or it will be the first most powerful audience that you can create. So purchasers is one of the best audiences that you can create. Purchases that purchase one time from you. And then you have purchases that purchase twice plus, or LTV, meaning lifetime value, like high lifetime value of customers. Now, on purchasers, again, you can create audiences based on email. You can upload all of your purchases, which is something that I would strongly recommend you do. And you can use something like the purchase event on the Pixel to actually get this campaign trigger, all right? And then you have purchasers twice plus, or LTV. LTV meaning that you can upload your list of purchasers, but you can also set up an LTV, meaning an LTV audience where Facebook will automatically sift through the higher value, the higher ticket customers and the lower ticket customers, all right? So let's say that you have an e-commerce store, you have people that spend, I don't know, 200 or 500 bucks with your store, and then there's people that spend, I don't know, 5 or 10 bucks with your store. That's completely 100% normal, and you want to kind of separate the two, all right? Because they don't have the same value for your company. And then you have purchasers that purchase several times from you, okay? You have those rabbit fans and whatnot. So out of this, like out of all of these custom audiences, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 custom audiences. Out of all of this, you can create lookalike audiences, all right? Which is pretty cool. Now, remember this, you need, by Facebook itself, you need at least 1,000 people in any given audience for a custom audience to be effective. The biggest the seed audience, the most effective the custom audience would be, with a minimum of 1,000 people. Granted, it's easier to have 1,000 people watching your video for 10 seconds or visiting your blog or visiting your profile on Facebook than having 1,000 purchasers that purchase, I don't know, 500 bucks from you. But still, you want to create these custom audiences, all right? So the higher the intent, the smaller the audience, but the most powerful it's gonna be. So the best case scenario for your company is that, you know, at some point after doing Facebook ads and after subscribing to this channel or subscribing to my Facebook channel, to my YouTube channel, liking my page, blah, 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 you have a lot of purchasers, but ideally, before creating a lookalike audience, you wanna have at least 1,000 people, all right? That's by Facebook means. If you don't have 1,000 leads, it doesn't mean that you cannot create a a lookalike audience, you could, but it's not going to be as effective. So if you don't have 1,000 leads, don't worry, just go with 1,000 video viewers, all right? Or 1,000 people that visited your blog post, or 1,000 engagers on Facebook. If you run a video views campaign, or if you run an engagement campaign, it's super easy to get to 1,000 people, all right? And then you go down the funnel. And again, the lookalike audiences can be 1%, 2%, 5%, and 10%. Those are the lookalike audiences that I usually create. Then I segment them by countries, meaning top tier countries, US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, Australia. And then I have the high GDP on Europe, you know, Germany, France, Italy, Spain, blah, blah, blah. And then some high GDP countries across the globe, depending again on your funnel and depending on your audiences, all right? So let's go step by step on the actual audience manager so I can show you guys how to do this. So let me actually see if I can split the screen for a minute. If not, I'll see what I can do. So let me see if I can split the screen. Okay, so I should be able to split the screen. So here we have one of my business managers. This is mostly for testing purposes, blah, blah, blah. So let's start and create all of this, all right? So we have video viewers, which is pretty simple. You just go to create audience, custom audience, and then you hit the engagement, and then you go to video, and then you choose the content type, which is gonna be 10 seconds, and then you choose the videos, right? So if I go to my page right here, I have a bunch of videos that I can use, all right? So I have a bunch of videos that I can use, and then boom, I'm gonna have my 10-second video viewers. For this, you want to also create 10 seconds, 3 seconds, 25%. Now let's move into the view content. This is easier because you go to custom audience, you go to website traffic, and then you have several options here. For this view content, you can have a piece of content that you have, all right, that like a blog post or something, or you can just go by all website visitors, like in the past 180 days, all right? So that's how you do it. Then when it comes to profile visitors, you go to engagement again, and then you go to Facebook page, and then include people who meet any of these following, anyone who visited your page, all right? Visited your page, on this case, your Facebook page, and then on the IG level, you can go with Instagram business profile, and then who visited your business profile, all right? So that's how you do it. This is how you do these three. Now, video viewers, pretty similar to the other one. You should select, instead of 3 seconds, 50%, 75%, and 95%. Then view content several times. This is interesting. So you go back, you go to website traffic, and then let's say that you have a view content tag on a blog, right? And then you can refine it by frequency, or you can actually people who visit specific web pages. So for example, let's say hernanvazquez.com/blog in the past 180 days. That's gonna be my blog. And then you can further refine by frequency. So frequency is greater or equal to 2 or 3, right? So this means that people will land on this website, or will land on this custom audience when they visited my blog post several times, or my blog several times. So you can go from 3, 4, 7, 10, whatever. Or you can also do, I think that you could do time, but potentially that's not the case. So let's see this. Let's see if I can do page view, refine by, you can actually refine the page view by URL, frequency. Yeah, so in this case, it's gonna be several times, right? Like 2, 3, 4, 5, or 10 times that they visit your blog post, or whatever blog post, or your blog in general, all right? So I hope that makes sense. The next thing is gonna be engagers. So again, engagement, Facebook page, anyone who has engaged with your page the last 365 days. And an engagement means a click, a comment, a like, a share, blah, blah, blah. Then you can do the same with Instagram. Anyone who engaged with your business, so in this case, it's gonna be Hernan Vazquez Marketing. So everyone who engaged with your business in the past 365 days. These are longer span audiences than the website visitors. As you could see, website visitors is only 180 days. In this case, I can do 365 days, all right? So this is interesting. Now,
When it comes to leads, you can actually do two things. Number one is you go to customer file and you can add your customers from your list. So you will upload the list from your, your autoresponder, you export that and you import that here, you upload the file. Or what you could do is to go to website traffic and you could say people who visit specific web pages. So let's say that after somebody signs up for the webinar or to download something for free, I get this page, right? So it's gonna be thank you, right? So hernanvazquez.com/thank you. So everyone that lands on that page over the past 30 days is gonna be counted as a lead, right? I usually do both. I usually upload my list, but I also have this pixel triggered audiences, right? And you want to actually go ahead and you want to actually I usually put that on the name of the audience, so it's going to be leads, email, for example, leads pixel, right? Depending on what kind of audience you want to have. Then the same with webinar attendees. You want to go with website traffic. You can either import a customer file, you export that from your webinar platform, and you go to and you export this from your webinar platform, and you can upload that customer file or website traffic every time somebody lands on your live session, right? So that's going to be webinar attendees. Then add it to cart, the same thing. You can export, for example, from Shopify. You can actually go ahead and export the abandoned carts and upload them there. And the sales page visitors is going to be website traffic, and you put the URL of the website of the sales page here, or the URL of the cart here. All right. So if it's like hernanvazquez.com/cart, that's gonna create the custom audience or /sales page, right? Moving on, order form visitors, again, hernanvazquez.com/order, right? Or what I could do, sorry about that, or what I could do is to go to website traffic, and instead of always website visitors, I could do it initiate checkout. So if you have your pixel installed, you can actually do initiate checkout here, all right? So that's the next one. And then purchasers, again, you can upload your own file of purchasers, or you can actually do website traffic for the past, like the last step of your funnel, right? So purchasers, hernanvazquez.com/thank you for your purchase, something like that. Or you can actually go here and you click on all website visitors and you put purchase, all right, in the past 30 days. And you can actually refine by frequency, which is going to give you this one twice or plus. Or what you could do is to go back and customer file, and you can include LTV, which is really, really powerful. All right. And out of that, you can create a lot of custom audiences. Again, guys, if you have the option to create either email or pixel related audiences, I would suggest you do both, and then create custom audiences out of that, or lookalike audiences rather, and see how it works. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, this quick tutorial on audiences. If you have any questions, just let me know. Post them on the Facebook group, and I will be more than happy to help you guys out. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so I hope that you have enjoyed that little session. Again, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. And if you really want to stay ahead of your game, please consider, number one, subscribing to this channel. Number two, joining the Facebook group, because that's where the magic happens. All right, guys, so thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.